Peace, 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 love, light of healer, peace, love, light of healer, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Climb on in. How y'all doing? Blessings, blessings. So, we here at the clinic. I'm doing my hematology right now and just looking at some live blood samples that I done got from a few clients today. Live blood cells, erythrocytes, they can live probably, I say anywhere, depending on how healthy the blood is, anywhere from about 15 to 45 minutes where you can get a live sample. I'm finna give the phone to Nabi. I want y'all to see how parasites be inside of the erythrocytes, what you'll call the red blood cells, eating all of your nutrition out of the cells. So if you can. Now, as y'all can see, I'm going to put my mice on it, but y'all can see all of these little bitty microorganisms or these parasites living throughout the blood cells. They in the plasma. So this little watery substance we see right here is called black plasma. These circular structures we see are called erythrocytes or red blood sites. You can see right here that this erythrocyte has got some malformations to it. This is what you would call a poikilocyte. And it's just showing that the cell membrane is breaking down because of the lack of oxygen and the lack of iron and folic acid. If you see these little jitterbugs swimming around within the blood plasma, these are all parasites. But what I want to show y'all is this. Where is it at? I'm pretty sure. All right. We lost it, but we're going to find some more. Right here, this is called fibrin. If y'all can see these little straight lines within the plasma, it's called fibrin. Fibrin in the system is due to fibrin protein, or what you will call immunoglobulin, and this causes erythrocyte aggregation. And this is when the blood begins to clog or clot within inside the system. This can lead to heart attack. This can lead to stroke, thrombosis, and everything. And of course, y'all see a lot of little jitterbugs within the system. But I've been seeing big parasites in here too, just eating up the blood. Here go another poikilocyte. Right here. This right here is what you'll call an echinocyte. These got real spikes around them. Again, this is lack of vitamin B17, vitamin B12, and then if you can see, it's a lot of parasitism that's around these dysfunctional cells. I'm viewing this in bright field. Here go another echinocyte right here. And then what you will call all of this is erythrocyte aggregation, because you really don't have that much flow inside the bloodstream. But what we looking for, I'm looking for the lymphatic system. As you can see, we can see another big old parasite. Look how big this parasite is, y'all. This is a rod form parasite. This parasite, if I change it into dark field mode, it's actually called mucorrhizmosis. And this can pleomorphosize themselves into Fasciolopsis buski. See, right now it's trying to actually burrow itself inside of a erythrocyte and eat all of the actual phytonutrients and iron and B17 and everything out of the cell. But it got to make it through the cellular membrane. So when you look at erythrocytes don't have nucleuses. They actually lose their nucleuses, for they can become a bicane disc, for they can exchange gases. And the gases that they exchange is carbon dioxide for oxygen and oxygen for carbon dioxide. So that's the reason why they look like this, because they can look hollow because there's nothing inside of them but nutrients. Now look at this parasite. Notice the shape and how it pleomorphosizes itself and change to get what it wants. So when I be saying that these things are already within us, they are. You have 150 trillion cells in your body. Out of 150 trillion cells, 100 trillion of those cells belong to the microorganisms. Look at all of them. Jitterbug. There go another parasite. So we're going to look around and see what we can see. I'm seeing a bunch of This right here is called an elliptocyte. An elliptocyte is when the cells start taking on an oval pattern. And this is the lack of oxygen that does that. And then if you can see more parasites. We see more fibrin or more immunoglobulin that's inside the system. Meat eating. You see more poikilocytes. So let's change this to dark field and see what we see when we change it. Well, we're going to go to bright field first. So let's go to bright field. And let's just go throughout the system and see what we see. We see a bunch of target cells. Target cells are hollowed out red blood cells. Then you can see these little flickerings. These are parasites within inside of the system. So this is what you would call a blood parasite infection. If it's in the bloodstream, then it's deep within the cellular tissues anyway. Here go another target cell. And look, if you can look inside the target cell, you can see parasites in there. Look at that one right there. Let's see if we can find some big boys. If you see one too, let me know, Nabi. Oh, look at that one. You see how it didn't change form again? These are pleomorphic bacteria. At first it was a rod form. Now it's in a form of a spear. Yeah, mucorrhizmosis is a hell of a parasite. The damn thing shapeshift all the time.
Somebody said maybe we don't want to eat tonight.
It's kind of hard for them to make it through these cellular membranes too. Let's go all the way to Dartfield. Wow, here go a beautiful, beautiful basal field, y'all. So this is what you'll call a basal field, and a basal field is part of the leukocytes. A leukocyte is the white blood cells, and the leukocytes is made of 5 white blood cells. And you have 3 that's called granulocytes. That is a neutrophil, that is a basal field or a basal field, and then you have something called an eosinocyte, and you can actually see these, or eosinophils. You can see these on your white blood count when you go get a full CBC chart. This is a basal field. Now what you got to do is you got to zoom in on this basal field to see if the phagocyte cells are in there phagocytosing, and you can tell if they're moving. So we see that we got movement, and then you see these little black spots in here, or things that they're eating. You see how they in here eating, y'all? Can you see that, Nabi?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it on the camera?
Mm-hmm.
So that we see that this is a healthy, what they would call immune cell, but I'm calling this a healthy lymphatic cell, because the lymphatic system is actually what produces these white blood cells. And if you can see it, it's actively eating, and all the cells in here are alive. They got minds, brains of their own. They work as a collective whole. And look, y'all can see it eating what you would call yeast, because that's what it's on. It's yeast that is forming from this red blood cell, and this actual basal field is eating all of their yeast up. So this let me know that we have an active immune system, or what I'm gonna say an active lymphatic defense system. Let's see what else we can find. That was a beautiful basal field. So when you get right here, this happened from my stain when I took the blood from my patient, or from my family member, should I say. And this is what you will call a line of aggregation. You have a line of aggregation and you have a line of lysis. So you never should judge or do your assessment based on any red blood cell, whether it's on a blood cell, tissue cells, anything that's next to your stain, like trauma that happened to your slide. You should never base your knowledge or judgment off of that, because usually it's an inaccurate reading. So we're going to go and move past that. We're going to go to the right. So far in this client, what we got is parasitism, which is a parasite infection. So far, I see a bunch of parasites. Not only that, I seen a bunch of poikilocytes. I seen an elliptocyte. Also, I seen a acanthocyte, and I seen mucorhizmosis. So we got vitamin B12 deficiency, folic acid deficiency, vitamin B17 deficiency. The blood is lacking a bunch of oxygen, which is causing coagulation. And I mean, we got a bunch of stuff going on here, but based off of the integrity of the cells and how the cells are shaped and how they're moving or flowing with inside of the bloodstream on the sample, I can tell you a bunch of different things that's going on with the system. I mean, a whole bunch. And we got to get rid of this fiber. So let's take it to another. Let's take it to Brightfield, because I see a lot of stuff under Brightfield as well. So I ain't never knocking Brightfield. Look, there go another one. You see them pleomorphizing, going through, and then you can see them in here mating too. They will actually mate in front of your eyes.
There's one inside that one.
Where is it? You seen it? I moved too fast. You see that one up here trying to get into the cell?
Oh yeah, right there. I see
Look at
it.
this one, y'all.
God, he doing the same thing.
Pleomorphizing, trying to make it inside of a cell. Look at this one. This is what you would call a rod. This ascarid. This is called the ascarid one. Y'all see it? I might have to change it to a pH for y'all to see it. Can y'all see that rod? It's changing green and black. These are very, very dangerous. These are very dangerous. And we see this in a lot of our herpes clients or herpes family members. Y'all see it over there? Let's go to a different, let's bring it over here though and go to a different objective to see if we see it better. You see it just went behind that red blood cell like that? They be hiding, boy. Y'all see it, y'all? I'm gonna zoom in on it. Look at that sucker. See, I go deep into the plasma and disappear. And these things love to hide behind metal. They hide behind vaccinations. They hide behind mercury. They hide behind everything. But chlorophyll will get these things out, get the metals out so they can show themselves. Cilantro will get the metals out so they can show themselves. But they are in the bloodstream, pleomorphizing, becoming all of the different ones. If this go through the bloodstream and it ends up in what you'll call the thymus gland and it messes up the lymphatic system in the thymus gland, they'll call that HIV because it starts depleting the CD4 cells. If it ends up in the pancreas and become a fluke worm and turn into a pancreatitism, they'll call it diabetes because it start feasting and eating on the actual insulin. If it get inside the lungs and start eating the lining of the lungs and the respiratory system go to respiratory failure or respiratory inflammation, you start coughing up and producing a lot of mucus. They'll call it bronchitis or asthma. If this same thing pleomorphizes itself and go to the fingernails and come back into like a yeast candida form, they'll call it toenail fungus. If it get inside the brain and passes the blood and brain barrier and start messing with the brain and causing brain inflammatory diseases, this is where you get all your neurological disorders from. Everything we're talking about is about parasites. If it goes from the pyloric sphincter of the stomach and move towards the stomach area and gets inside the stomach and start messing with the mucosa membrane there, they call this Helicobacter pylori. All I'm talking about is the same different parasite that have the potentiality of pleomorphizing or shape-shifting itself depending on the part of the body it's in, because each part of the body have a different type of climate change. It's a different type of environment, which will make them have to adapt. And when these parasites adapt, they can become hideous or they can be your best friends in the world. So the best way to check them is by just taking a blood sample. We used to take blood samples from the venous system. Now we take blood samples from the capillary bed of the tip of the finger, because we noticed that when you do your blood sample in there, you less likely to damage the blood. And then you got 30 to 45 minutes to get that live sample on a cell, on a slide, and then cover it with a cover, add some immerser oil to it, and put it under a powerful microscope, crystallized microscope. That way you can see it in dark field, because most of these microscopes are not using crystal glass, or they're using the wrong type of light emittancy, and you can't really penetrate that slide to see what's really going on within the blood, especially in the blood matter. So if you got the right equipment and you really know what you're doing, you can see everything. We study cardiomyocyte cells. We study neurological cells. We study live tissues. We study dead tissues. We literally study all of these things. So probably in a week or so, we're going to fly out to where we're going in Texas and show y'all our laboratory, show y'all equipment. We're now doing genetic testing. We doing DNA testing. We doing DNA and genetic swabs to check you for STDs. I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff, and we noticing that a lot of people are pulling blood from the venous system. We are getting more results and more accurate results with just using saliva and getting blood from the capillary bed from the tip of your finger. So we see technology is changing, y'all. So this whole practice that we into is finna change. Like, we doing amazing things. Up, y'all can see they in the blood. They're in the blood. Y'all see them in the blood cell? In and out.
Man. It's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch. All right, here goes some deposits right here. This is what you would call a yeast deposit. Yeast candida deposit. Y'all see that? So that yeast and candida. I can see it's a few chemicals here. Look like some ibuprofen or something like that in the blood. What else we got? And this is I got this adjective on 100,000. They say 100 objective, but it's always 1,000. So this on 100,000 objective. I went live a little late. I usually start off on my 10x objective, then I move over into my magnification to 20. Then we really spend most of our time at the 40,000 objective. But once I added the immersion oil to my magnification glass, my crystals, I can't change it because then I mess up my microscope. So y'all caught me at the tail end of this. If y'all like stuff like this and y'all want to see more bizarre stuff or more even good healthy blood, because the blood cells, actually the shape of them is not that bad. It's a few of them messed up, but you know the shape of it is not that bad. And we got a good million cells out of this sample. If y'all can see this is one his ass is hanging out the cell. Y'all see that? Look at it, his butt hanging out the cell. He in there eating. There go another one. So they up in there. So but there go a dead one inside the blood cell. That one dead. Here go some babies too. So what I would do for a family member like this, I get them on some iron phosphate ASAP. So I probably do my iron phosphate tincture and iron phosphate capsules. The reason why I do capsules is because I want it to slowly release with inside the duodenum when the hydrochloric acid hit it. I'll put them on tinctures too, grapeseed alcohol tinctures. That way we can penetrate the blood very quickly, because we know that alcohol tinctures actually deliver the herbs and all the phytonutrients into the bloodstream the moment that it hit the mouth. I most definitely will put them on some of my superfood, because the superfood got all of these natural B vitamins in them. And I will also put them on some coherence capsules, because they was complaining about brain fog, and I can see why. They're not getting any oxygen to their brain because they got too much erythrocyte aggregation, meaning their blood is clotting, so they got poor circulation of blood. And that's where we'll start with that. Y'all can see, there go another one inside the cell. Let's lift this one up. And see, this is why you have to play with the different damn, look at this beautiful ass neutrophil. Man, that's amazing. Hold on, I just seen the parasite, but this is a neutrophil, and it's amazing. Look at it, y'all. This is a neutrophil that looks amazing. It actually kind of looked like a lymphocyte, but I'm gonna call it a neutrophil because I see. So if you look deep at this white blood cell, this is the nucleus of the cell, and then it got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lobes. So since it got 5 lobes, I can't call it a lymphocyte. Plus, a lymphocyte is a granule, so you won't see these granules is up inside of here. So this is definitely a neutrophil, but this neutrophil is beautiful, amazing, and it is very active if you actually look. And you can see the parasites trying to stay away from it, but it is getting its eat on, y'all. Man, that's beautiful. Let's change it. I want to change it to dark field to see how it look in dark field. You got to catch them too, because they be moving. That thing is eating. I see it in bright field. Look at that beautiful thing, now, B. That is amazing. Notice the parasite. Look at that parasite. They trying to stay away from that thing. They don't want no problem, because that's going to phagocytose and engulf anything that's around it. I think that's enough. Look, y'all, if y'all can see my record time, I've been recording this for 39 minutes. So I'm finna shut this off. If y'all got any questions for me, I can answer them, though. See if they got some questions today. All right. Peace. Y'all got some questions today? What y'all got going on? Yeah, y'all, it's crazy, man. So, I love hematology. I love studying blood. I love studying I just love studying cells and biology. That's what I geek out on. How do you know if you have parasites? Symptoms of shortness of breath, deep cravings, itching throughout your whole body, elbows having breakouts and bumps, cracked fingernails, black spots on your tongue, yeast candida or white spots on the back of your tongue, dry mouth, grinding your teeth while you asleep, sleep apnea, can't breathe while you sleep, constant pink eye, skin rashes, irritable bowel syndrome, Problems when you're trying to digest and go to the bathroom, floaters when you go to the bathroom, your poop looks seeming like it's hollow, floating to the top of the bowl. I mean, there's so many different signs and indications of parasitism infection. So, you know, that goes on and on. The best thing to do is to actually get a parasite test, which is what we do. Or you can come here and you can get your blood drawn and we'll check your blood out on a microscope, or we'll send your blood out to our laboratory. Yes, Dr. Yaki Diagnosis. We do have a laboratory now, and we can check it that way. There's many different ways to check a parasite. The best way to me to check a parasite is doing a detoxification and watching them come out, though. That's the beautiful part. And if you can, grab those samples, sanitize the area, put them in something enclosed, and send them to me, because we like to study stuff like that. I did a 3-day water fast and have not had an appetite since. Any suggestions? No, if you don't have an appetite, don't eat. If you did a 3-day water fast, that means you're in the middle of what you would call autophagy. Autophagy is very, very good. That means that you're in a state of ketosis, and your body is now have utilized up all of its glucose, and now you're surviving off of ketones and fats. And these fats is being used as energy, and these lipids is being used to heal the body. Your white blood system, or what you will call the lymphatic system, is very active at this time. So I wouldn't eat, because the moment that you eat, you're going to draw attention and energy away from your body going through a state of autophagy, and all of that energy is going to be utilized to try to break down your food, which is going to take away from your detoxification and you regenerate new stem cells. The 3rd day of a water fast, a pure water fast, stem cells are being released, and the whole entire lymphatic system is actually reprogramming itself. That means that all of your white blood cells, they are actually inside the thymus gland in the bone marrow cells, and then the spleen getting new instructions or being rebooted or reprogrammed on how to defend the body. You don't want to interfere with this process. So keep fasting. That's what I would do if I was you. That's beautiful. Yes, most definitely. And congrats to you for even doing the 3-day water fast. I know people that don't do that as well. Can you do walk-ins? No, you cannot do walk-ins. People hate me. I receive death threats all the time. People wishing death on my children as of lately. They've been trying to take us down for a long time. So when it comes to my security, I put that first. So this is not just a walk-in clinic. This is a private practice, private clinic. The only way to get in here is by booking a consultation on the website. We are currently booked up right now until I open up new days. I'm going to open up new days the beginning of the week. We've been getting like 16 to 20 people in here every day. So I'm pretty booked up, y'all. But, soon as Nabia get around to it, he'll book some more. he'll book and build some more people, and y'all can get in here. Once you get the consultation and you're billed and everything is confirmed, what we do is through our doctor's portal, we send you the address, and upon signing up as a membership, you are sworn in to not disclose the address to anybody that is not a family member. And if you do, we will most definitely prosecute your ass. So, I take my safety very, 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 very serious, y'all. So we just don't have people walking in. How old are you? I'm 35. 35. Umbilical hernia, you're dealing with a thyroid and parathyroid issue. You have weak connective tissues. Weak connective tissue. If you can work on your thyroid and get that parathyroid to produce that calcium right and get more silica, once that hernia go down and that inflammation go down, it won't bust through again. So whenever we see hernia or umbilical hernias, we always go after the thyroid and the parathyroid. Dark circles under your eyes. That's always kidneys. Some dark circles under your eyes do show indications that the liver is not working or processing properly. But usually that's most definitely talking about the kidneys. You need a kidney and adrenal cleanse. If you don't want to buy it off the site, what you can do is get you some parsley leaf, get you some cilantro to make sure that you're getting any metals out of the kidneys, get you some hydrangea root to break up any calcification or solidification of calcium in the kidneys. Parsley is very good for the kidneys, and cleaver's leaf. Do all equal parts, make it as a tea, sip on it 3 times a day, and that will get the inflammation out of the kidneys, get the acid out of the kidneys, and open up the detoxification metabolic pathways for the kidneys can start filtering again. I need an exam ASAP. Come see me. Eczema on the neck and forearms. If you got eczema on the neck and forearms, eczema is an indication of herpes dermatitis. Remember, if you talk about herpes is a hemorrhage worm, but this hemorrhage worm is what dies. So there's thousands of them. They actually lay 4,000 larvas every couple of days. And it's funny to me because when you go to like virologists that study viruses, they will tell you that herpes is a virus. But when we study viruses and we go through the same type experiments and we do the same type of research and study and looking under them on the petri dishes, what we notice is that when these parasites die, they catch gas. And when the gas and methane builds up in them, they go through something called lysis or litosis, meaning that they bust forth like a balloon. When they bust forth, all of their DNA, their genomes, and their fragments actually get tossed into the system. And when they get tossed into the system, of course, the lymphatic system is going to be alerted. So all of the basophils get alerted and come through and try to eat these things up, which raise the antibody titers, and they'll call this a virus. So they have you thinking that herpes is a virus, but really herpes is just a yeast parasitic that starts off from what I was telling y'all about, mucorrhizmosis, and then it pleomorphosizes themselves into a worm called Fasciolopsis buski fluke worm, and it lives throughout the nervous system and it lives behind the tissues. And when they die, they release their DNA, and that DNA is what the actual allopathic community calls a virus. But if you can kill the parasite, which is we are very good at doing that, and then flushing the system from all the DNA fragments, the RNA fragments, and the genes and the genomes that come from this parasitic, you know, you go back and you get tested, your IgG numbers be at a regulated rate, and you're herpes free. So was it a virus or was it a parasitical infection that came from yeast? You see what I'm saying? But if you look at herpes, there's over 118 different strands of herpes now. Over 118. 108 of those herpes strands are prone to animals, mammals like chickens. Chickens get herpes. It's called Merkel's disease. That's actually chickens and herpes. You have another one that's called the Maquette disease, which come from actual monkeys. The Marak monkey actually get herpes. Cows get herpes. It's called the bovine disease. All these different things get herpes. Now, it's 8 of them. Now 16 is prone to human beings. So herpes 1 through 16, humans can get. Herpes HSV1, which is in the ganglia nerve, that expresses itself from the cervical area up. That's when you actually get outbreaks on your lips. HSV2, that's in the sacral bone area. It burrows itself into your spinal column and then it lives down there. That's the genital one. HSV3 is usually what you would call chickenpox. HSV4 is shingles. HSV5 is smallpox. HSV6 is what you would call herpes dermatitis. HSV7 is itchy elbow disease. HSV8 is your last thing, which is your chronic acne and your eczema. So when you're looking at these things, it's all a part of the zoster family. And usually a lot of us get this through the zoster vaccinations when we're very young. And then you get older and you finally get triggered or stressed out, or you let a man ejaculate in you and he have acidic sperm. So it stresses your nervous system and put a bunch of cortisol inside of your blood. And then you finally have an outbreak and you blame him for the actual sexually transmitted disease when it was never sexually transmitted to you. It was just lying dormant, and that acidic sperm is what actually activated it. Or you have a woman with Copeland that have a off pH balance of Copeland and yeast inside of her vagina canal, and a man go in there and then she give him that off pH, and then it does the same thing, which stresses out his system, and then he have a reaction to it because they have woken up that dormant worm that's been inside of you since you've been 4 or 5 when you had to go to school and they gave you that zoster vaccination. I mean, let's just keep it real. We all think that STDs is real, and I keep trying to ask y'all a question that y'all never answered. If STDs is truly real, then how did the first person get it? How? Meaning that these are pleomorphic, shape-shifting bacteria and parasites that already live within inside of the granules of our cells. And depending on the terrain or the environment that you put your interstitial fluid and plasma in, and that actually indicates whether these things are going to torment you, harm you, or help heal the body. But it's all a healing detoxification symptom. If you look at these parasites like what I'm looking at right now, if you look at them, we can see them in and out of the plasma, in and out of the cells. But when you look at what they eat under high magnification, under high objectives, you see that they not only eating the actual mineralization in the cells, but they eating acids and things like that too. So potentially these parasites are not here to harm us. They're here to help us, but while helping us, they harm us. So we got to quit acting like these are the causes of things. These things are the effects. The actual root cause to all of your ailments or your so-called disease is environment pollutants, eating the wrong foods that was not made for your biological makeup, stress, having negative thoughts, and just being an evil person. Once you change your mindset, once you change your perception, once you change your environment and the things that you put in your body, all these things go back to normal. Notice I didn't say go away, because it's impossible to get rid of all these different parasitics. They're supposed to be in your body and you could not live without them. What they shapeshift to is what's going to harm you. These are just facts. These are the facts, family. Let me get a few questions. I might not say this live because I said vaccination way too much. And I'm pretty sure they're going to flag my ass. I'm going to answer 2 questions. I'm going to get up out of here. Showing that I'm live no more. They probably done got me. Oh. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, now you're back. Okay. Yeah, I might not say this live. Peace, peace.
Hi.
Blessings to you. What's your name and where you from?
I'm Natalie, and I'm from Michigan.
Hey, Miss Natalie. Shouts out to Michigan. What part of Michigan? Pontiac, Detroit?
I'm from Grand Rapids.
All right. Blessings to you. What's going on with you? Talk to me.
So I've been having health issues since middle school. Okay. And it evolved. There's my boyfriend, Alex.
Yeah.
He's
What's
a big
up, boyfriend, Alex? Blessings.
Anyways, I've been having issues since middle school, and I have pain in my stomach where it feels like constant period cramps, basically. I have back issues, and like I've been to the doctor a couple times for it, but they said that there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, my mom and my family have issues with the uterus a lot. My mom has endometriosis, but a doctor said that they don't think it's what I have, because usually during endometriosis, the pain only hurts when you're on your period. So for me, my pain is like all the time. Sometimes it's bad. I also get bloated randomly, like to the point where I look pregnant.
Yeah. So that's a bunch of gas being emitted. So everything you telling me sound like liver issues. They need to check your liver enzymes. They need to check your gallbladder to make sure you producing bowel the correct way. It sounds like that you're not breaking down your lipids and you're not breaking down or digesting your food the correct way, and that's what's causing the bloating, the swelling, and the actual stomach pain. It don't sound like it's your stomach that hurting. It sounds like it's your gut that's hurting, but it's coming from your liver. And those back issues, you can get back issues from your liver as well and from your kidneys. But if your liver is not functioning properly, that means your kidneys is not functioning properly, because the kidneys is actually the filtering system of your body. That's what gets rid of all your metabolic waste, all the toxemia and the things that you put in your body. What I would do if I was you, I would do a kidney and a liver cleanse. You can do a kidney and a liver cleanse. The best way to do that, and you can do this without herbs. You need to go on a 2-day, a 48-hour water fast to get ready for the cleanse. And then you need to follow that up with an actual 2-day, nothing but pure organic apple juice fast. You're going to drink that because you have malic acid that's going to help cleanse out the liver. And then every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to take a small lemon shot of 1.5 ounces of lemon shot. All right, and then what you need to do is get milk thistle powder. You're going to get milk thistle powder. You can either get it off of Amazon or organic source. You can buy it from me, or you can make your own. If you get some milk thistle powder, organic from a natural herbal store, and you can buy you some vegetable halal capsules that's not made with gelatin, you can get that for $10 off of Amazon, and you can buy a $15 capsule maker, and you can literally make your own liver cleanse. What you're going to do is you're going to mix it with burdock root. You're going to get milk thistle seeds. These are powders: burdock root, milk thistle seed powder, and dandelion root powder. Mix them in all equal parts. You're going to put them in 1,000 milligram capsules. Make your own capsules. I want to see you do this and post it. You can make your own. You don't even need to buy nothing from me. And then you will take these. You're going to take 2,000 milligrams in the morning, 2,000 milligrams in the evening, and 2,000 milligrams before you go to sleep. So all together, that's what? That's 6,000 milligrams a day. You're going to do that while you're on that actual apple juice fast, and you're going to be taking those lemon shots every 3 hours. This will actually cleanse your liver. You're going to start getting rid of a bunch of different type of liver and gallbladder stones. You're going to get rid of a bunch of toxemia. You're going to see your bloating go away. You're going to be funkerizing the world because you're going to be passing a bunch of gas, and then you're going to have a big stool in your toilet, and you will see that that's going to go away and relieve that actual liver. Now, to cleanse the actual kidneys, I was just saying on how to cleanse those kidneys, and you're going to use that as a tea. And those, the parsley leaf, the cleaver's leaf, all equal parts, mix them together, drink them down to actually flush out the kidneys and the inflammation of those kidneys, and I bet you your issue will go away.
Okay, one last
Mhm.
thing. I also during when I have sex, I also have pain.
Yeah,
And
so usually if you also have pain while intercourse, that's inflammation within inside of the actual vagina cavity. So that's inflammation. Now you got to ask yourself, why is you inflamed? It could be a bacterial infection. You can have yeast build up. You can have a diverse portfolio of bacteria that's not supposed to be there. And then you have to ask, why did the inflammatory response come? Because the bacteria. Why is the bacteria over culturalizing themselves in that area? Usually it's because your pH is off. So you need to go to the store and get you some pH strips, and you need to check your pH balance of your actual vagina. And what we notice is resting when it comes to color, or what you would call women that have more melanin in them. 4.5 to 5.4 is usually their range of pH. It's academic, it changes. If it goes up or down, you could have a dramatic change to your body and the smell of the actual copeland or the mucosa of vagina liquids that come from there. But that's going to be only your body. So what you have to do is you have to clean up that area, and that will actually change the population of bacteria that's there. Usually that helps. Now, if you're producing too much estrogen because of your pituitary gland, estrogen can, because estrogen is acidic. Estrogen is acidic. So if you're producing too much estrogen and that estrogen is getting a hold of your ovaries, that can cause an issue as well, because that can cause inflammatory issues. But you got to remember that the pituitary is what governs the reproductive part of a woman. It actually governs the reproductive part of a man too. And you need to check your cholesterol. But if your cholesterol is high, or if your cholesterol is too low, that's liver again, because your cholesterol is in control of your sexual hormones, and your sexual hormones is in control of how good or how bad your vagina feels, whether you having sex or not. So it's just, and this is the reason why holistic health is important, because there's so many things you have to check. So I guess I just said a lot here. So the easiest thing that I can think to tell you is to detoxify, change your diet. If you can, eat a 60-40 diet, 60% fruits, 40% vegetables, and other things that don't involve dairy products or meat. You see what I'm saying? Increase your liquid intake. How tall are you?
I'm 5'1.5".
5'1.5". That sounds like pituitary too. Again, but since you're 5'1.5", increase your liquid in. How much you weigh?
Like
Okay,
105.
so look, increase your water weight to about 45 ounces of liquids a day. 45 ounces of liquids a day, a 60-40 diet, 60% organic fruits, 40% vegetables. Out of that 40%, you can do 20% dark leafy greens, and then the other 20% you can mix with your mushrooms and things like that. Stop eating processed sugars. Don't be drinking sodas. Don't be drinking juices. Stay away from all processed things. If you look at food and they got more than 3 ingredients, don't put it in your mouth. And that's going to change your actual terrain. That's going to change your interstitial fluid. That's going to change your liquids, and that's going to rebalance your body. Because I said a lot. You can go back and listen to this, but I said a whole lot. So the best thing to do is just do the simple things. Change your diet, change your environment, and whatever make you stressful, what's ever stressing you out, get rid of it. And that'll change your whole terrain.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate this
I,
so much.
you going to follow everything I said?
Yes, I'm gonna look over this, have my boyfriend send it to me and everything.
All right,
Record
perfect,
it.
perfect. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I'll follow you too and post
Okay, yeah,
it.
follow me, man. Y'all come visit me whenever you ready, boyfriend. Bring her to see me, man.
We will. We
For
was
sure.
talking about it for real.
All right, whenever y'all ready, I'm here.
All right.
All
Thank
right, y'all
you.
take care of yourselves.
You as well.
All right,
Bye.
blessings. Peace. Man, I think that was enough. She took a long time, y'all. So I'm up out of here. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the guys, peace to the earth. I got a lot of studying to do, a lot of homework to do, family. I'm trying to be here as much as possible. I'm trying to be here for y'all without killing me. But I appreciate y'all. I'll go back again live tomorrow and show y'all some things. If y'all interested in really looking at, blood cells, live blood analysis, dry blood analysis, studying heart cells, studying brain cells, studying tissues, studying kidney tissue. If y'all interested in stuff like that, let me know and we'll start recording these things because I can't go live in the laboratory. I don't think my partner let me do that, but I can record them of me doing them and post them though. And if y'all interested in that stuff, let me know and we'll start doing stuff like that. We doing so much work, y'all. So I'm trying to find a way to just record all of this because I see that I can't go live all the time, but my whole life consists of what I'm doing right now. So if we could just get a camera around me and start recording this stuff, I'll start posting it. So just let me know. Yeah, I'm here to help save lives. I'm here for y'all. www.com, Yakhawakened.com for herbs. Book a consultation with me. Hit the consultation buttons. Hopefully they'll be back open to book for July because it's all the way booked up to the end of June now. If it ain't a blue check, don't communicate. Even if it's my backup page, if it's not verified, don't talk about prices, don't talk about money. There's somebody out here pretending to be me getting a lot of people for money. So if it's not through my website, I don't conduct business. If it's not www.yakhawakened.com, I do not conduct business and I do not respond back to anybody. I do got an automatic response and I holler at a few people on this page. But look, if it don't have a verified blue check, automatically assume it's not me. I don't care if it get on and it's like this. If it ain't from a verified page, do not conduct business. I will never, ever, ever, ever ask you for money on social media, ever. All right, y'all remember that. So peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the guys, peace to the earth. I love y'all. Bless. Yes, the Gorilla Mix is done. I will post the finished products tonight. I'll post them up and we'll start taking pre-orders probably tomorrow. So I got all of that stuff done. So I'm gonna post that tonight. Peace.